There are so many great ways to promote your side hustle. Many of those ways don't cost you anything at all, from online to the old-fashioned newspaper. Let's talk about the best way to promote your side hustle. Who am I? I'm Gregg. I have started many side hustles that have turned into full-time businesses. If you have a question about your side hustle, please drop it in the comment section below, and I would be happy to make a video just for you. Today's video is actually an answer to a question from a comment from viewer MeekMoney48. She wrote, "Okay, but where do I start? I need a place to start. I'm always hearing, get a niche, write a blog, then add the link. But where? Sorry, LOL. I'm broke and trying to figure this out." Well, MeekMoney48, that is a great question. The place to start is figuring out your side hustle. It looks like you decided to write a blog. So today, we're going to pick up at the end of what you said. But where? I'm broke. There are a lot of ways to market your blog. This applies to all side hustles. Even without money, you can market yourself. The first free place to leave a link or information about your side hustle is on social media. In your social media feeds, tell people concisely what you do and drop a link or your contact information. In community groups, when appropriate, also drop a link and concisely tell what you do. Now, it's important to be concise because when you're long-winded, nobody's going to read or listen to what you have to say. But if you can concisely say what you do in a few words, think of it as your 5-second elevator pitch. That's where you need to be. Concisely tell what you do and how you can help the people in those comments. Great groups to start with are neighborhood groups. If you're doing a local service or something local related, you can do service groups. Things that are related to what you do. You can do skill groups, other groups that have similar skills to yours. You can ask other bloggers if you could cross-post with them. For non-blog businesses, you can talk to other providers in your space and ask if you could cross-promote with each other. What does this look like? Well, let's say you're a window washer. Maybe you know somebody who's a pressure washer, and you could talk to each other and share business back and forth and cross-promote each other to your customers. Maybe you do lawn mowing and lawn maintenance, but you don't do flower beds and landscaping, so you could cross-promote with somebody in that category. Maybe even if you're a landscaper, window washer, something like that, you could cross-promote with the fence repair guy or a handyman. There are so many different ways that you could cross-promote with other people who are not in your exact lane, but who service a similar customer. When you service a similar customer and you share more information with those customers, you become more valuable to your customers as well, because your customers see you as the go-to resource for all the information that they've been looking for. You could also put out flyers with your information. Include a QR code because QR codes are making a good comeback. Hand out business card size info cards, including a QR code. How is this different from a business card? Well, you're using the same piece of paper that you would use for a business card, but you can put a concise description of what your service, product, or offering is on that business card and include a QR code. In this case, for MoneyMeek48, you could include the QR code to your blog. For everyone else, you can include a QR code that links to your service and gives contact information for you. If you have a website, simply link to a page on your website that is specific to that card. You can say, "Hey, thanks for scanning the QR code. I'm Gregg. I help businesses succeed. I help people start and run their side hustles." Feel free to reach out and you could put all your contact info right there. Leave flyers in places that make sense for your customers, and make sure it makes sense for your customers. Those are all some generic ideas on where you could go to market yourself. But to get the best results from your marketing efforts, it's important to really know your ideal customer, viewer, or reader. And when I say ideal customer, no, not everyone is your ideal customer, reader, or viewer. You are specifically talking to one person. make sure you are very specific about that. Because when you're specific, you know what language to use, you know how to find them, you know how to reach them and talk to them so that you can talk in their language and address their specific needs. When you try and go broad, nobody hears you at all. So, build an avatar, a fake person that represents your ideal customer. Go ahead and figure out what their age is, what their gender is, where do they live, how many kids do they have any pets? What do they do in their free time? What other interests do they have? Make the avatar as detailed as possible. By having all of this detail, it's going to help you. Now give that avatar a name. So as you're thinking through this, you can think through your avatar when you move into your marketing efforts and other things that you do. Now that you have an avatar that's very specific, you can market very effectively to your potential customer, viewer, or reader. By knowing who the ideal customer is and what they like and don't like and what they do, you can now find them. Go to where they are. Tell them what you do. Put your marketing efforts into places where you can find the right customer. For if you go too broad, you're not going to find your customer. But when you know who that ideal person is, you can go right to where they're at and market specifically to them. Maybe you're a dog walker, so you know your potential customer is at the dog park. So maybe hang out at the dog park a little bit. Maybe you're writing a blog about bicycling. Well, go to where all the bicyclists are, bicycle trails, bicycle hangouts, things like that. I was just talking the other day to an owner of an HVAC company, and he was asking me about marketing on TV. He wanted to run some ads on TV. Now, I already knew who his ideal customer was because we've talked about this a lot, but it sounded really appealing to him to advertise on TV. So I started asking him the same questions that I'm presenting to you. Who is your avatar? Is that person watching these channels that you're trying to market to? Who do you know that matches that avatar? Go ask that person if they watch these shows and these TV channels. Go ask that person where they hang out in their free time. By running through this, it gave him the ability to think through his avatar and realize for him and his market that advertising on these TV channels, especially with this amount of money, those were not the places to put his marketing efforts. He needed to put his marketing effort somewhere else, somewhere where his potential avatar really is. And on those TV shows and TV channels, his avatar didn't even watch those channels. So it made no sense. So when you know your customer and know who they are and can be very specific, you can be very specific in finding them because you know exactly where they are, you know exactly what their pain points are, and you know exactly how you can address their very specific needs. Finding your customer can be easy when you know who your customer is. So go ahead and do the exercise of building your avatar so that you can figure out where to best market to your potential customer, viewer, reader in this case. And if you have any question you would like me to answer, you can drop a question in the comments. I would be happy to make a video just like this for you answering your questions. Have an awesome and profitable day.